Hi, I'm Tonya. Freezer meals make things so much easier. I have less mess and less stress at dinner time. Over the years, I've developed a method that works really well and is adaptable to any family size, any kind of picky eater. All the details on my resources are in the description below. This is one of a 3-part series on making freezer meals out of grits. Why grits? Grits are more than just for breakfast. In fact, here in Southern California where I live, no one eats grits for breakfast. But they should, because grits are so healthy for you. They're high in vitamin B complex, high in iron, and high in fiber. Grits are ground up dried corn that you soften like oatmeal with cream or milk or water. They're kind of bland by themselves, which is why they make such a great breakfast food. We are going to doctor them up over these 3 videos and just make them so delicious so you can put them as a side dish for dinner or even build your entire lunch around these grits recipes. Let's get started. I will be making a recipe I found in Southern Living magazine. Goat cheese and spring onion grits soufflé. And just sounds wonderful, because who doesn't like goat cheese? With the wonderful tangy flavor for our grits. Showing you with a freezer meal how to make some for now and how to store some for later. The ingredients: we have butter, chives, spring onions, goat cheese, salt, half and half, eggs, grits, and Dijon mustard. Well, now let's do some onion definition. What is a spring onion? I had to look it up. Now I know these are green onions. These green onions are also known as scallions. And for green onions, scallions, you can use the green part all the way down to the yellow part to the white part. This monster is actually, it's a spring onion. It's actually a baby onion. So if this had been left in the ground longer, it would develop into one of the regular large onions that you see at the grocery store. At our grocery store, these are called Mexican grilling onions, because nobody knows what a spring onion is, perhaps, in my neighborhood. Spring onions, you do not eat the green part like you do on green onions, because it's tougher and bitter. We are going to use the white bulb part, just as if it was a grown-up onion. This part just goes to the compost. Cut off the end and cut off the root end. Now, to chop up these green onions, they're not green onions. This is a green onion, not a green onion. To chop up these spring onions, these Mexican grilling onions, if you live in Southern California, I'm going to use one of my favorite tools, my handy chopper. It is a thing with 3 sharp blades that spins and dices things so quickly and easily. Let me show you how. Lovely. I like my handy chopper because I have a picky eater at home, and she will not eat anything that she notices it has onions in it or bell peppers. If I use my handy chopper, then I can dice things up so finely that she sometimes doesn't notice. You may have a picky eater of your own at your house. This handy chopper I got from Pampered Chef. If you have a friend that sells Pampered Chef, go buy one. If you don't, look in the description below, and I have a link to an Amazon page for a similar device, a similar handy chopper device. And if you buy it through that link, I get a few pennies commission, and you get this wonderful chopping machine for no extra price, no extra cost to you. Thank you. And I also need to prep my chives. These chives came in the grocery store with the roots still detached, so I can actually put it in a vase on my windowsill and have fresh chives. The plate is dirty. Let me get a different plate. I hope you have a pair of kitchen scissors, kitchen shears they call them also, for fresh herbs. It's so quick and easy to cut with your kitchen scissors, your kitchen shears. How pretty. First thing we need to do is saute our spring onions in a little bit of butter, 2 tablespoons of butter. I'll be right back. Can you hear the sizzling onions over the noise of the construction work? Smell so good. Now we're going to add our liquids, heat up the liquid so that we can get our grits cooking. A pint of half and half, 2 cups. Two cups of water. And a tablespoon of salt. I'm going to heat this to a boil. I'm going to heat this to a boil. See you soon. And I need to prep my goat cheese. We only need 4 ounces of goat cheese, and this is 10.5 ounces. I'm just going to estimate. I could weigh it out. I'm not going to. $10.5, half would be, we'll say this is 5, and this part is 5. If we did it in half, we only need 4 ounces. So if we divide this half into 5, I'm taking out that much to eat with wheat thins as an appetizer. Delicious. And then eventually the goat cheese will be melted into the grits. You want to increase the surface area. Science. So mush apart your goat cheese. What is goat cheese? I suppose it's cheese from goat's milk. It's more tangy, and you can see it's soft, a soft cheese, almost like a cream cheese. Sometimes you find it with herbs mixed in. I just love it plain, and I'm gonna love it in my grits. My liquids are boiling. We're gonna stir in the grits, 1 cup. Now I need to let the grits absorb the liquid and get nice and thick. I will put this on low heat on the stove for about 20 minutes and occasionally do some whisking to make sure they don't clump or burn. This recipe is goat cheese and spring onion grits soufflé. When you make a soufflé, you separate the eggs. We're going to do the egg yolks with a tablespoon of Dijon mustard in this container, and the egg whites are going in this one, and we're going to whip them up a bit. Yolks, whites. Oh, this last one crunched. Ah! Use an eggshell to capture any yolk or even eggshell pieces that have escaped. There we go. Ooh, that's kind of under pressure doing it on TV. Gotta check those simmering grits, whisk them a bit. I'll be back. I'm just gonna use a fork to blend the Dijon mustard in with the egg yolks. I like using glass bowls because you can look and see that you got everything mixed in well through. A metal bowl, you can't see. All right, this is good. Set it aside. Now the egg whites, we need to make them form stiff peaks. I like my little kitchen blender, Immersion blender. It's just a tiny bit, and this is so much faster to get out and so much easier to clean than my big mixer. We're going for stiff peaks. Nope. See how nice and thick the grits have cooked up? They've absorbed so much of that good liquid. We're going to add the goat cheese and stir it so it melts in. We have our egg whites and we have our egg yolk. First, we're going to mix the egg yolk in the hot grits, but you don't want the egg yolk to cook. So you temper the egg yolks. You make them slightly warm by putting some of the hot grits inside. Now you're warming up the yolk without cooking it. And diluting it a bit with the grits so they won't just become a scrambled egg yolk in your grits. Okay, that should be good. Whisk in the yolk. And you want to just gently fold in your egg whites. egg whites are what give the souffle kind of its airiness. Now, if you're cooking it and serving it tonight, you're going to do the exact same thing if you're going to freeze it for another night. We're going to use these ramekins. When I was growing up, we knew these as pudding cups because that's what Mom always made in these ramekins, pudding. My favorite was butterscotch. So in the pudding cup or ramekin, and I have a link below so you can find some on Amazon. Spray. I love my ice cream scoop to use for this sorts of situation. 2 scoops and a little sprinkle of chives. And I will put this, once it cools, in the freezer for later. Lovely. I'll continue to serve up the goat cheese and spring onion grit souffle. And when they're ready to go in the freezer, I'll come back and see you again. These goat cheese and spring onion grits souffle are ready to go in the freezer. And this goat cheese and spring onion grits souffle is ready to go in my mouth. The plan is for the grits that are in the freezer, once they are frozen solid, I'll pop each little pellet of grits out and put them in a freezer Ziploc baggie. Then, if you want 1, if you want 5, just take them out of the freezer, frozen, put them in a greased ramekin, let them thaw in the fridge, and then bake them, just like this one here. And that's the magic of freezer meals. You can have this delicious grits now, or you can have them all later, or one later, or however many you need. You're doing the work now, and then you can benefit days, weeks, even months in the future for your freezer meal grits. I'm Tonya. Don't forget to look for the other 2 grits freezer meal recipes in this video series. And don't forget to check out the description below for links to get any sort of supplies. And to find out more about freezer meal, I have a video course. I have free resources. Please like, subscribe. It helps YouTube put my video in front of other people who are interested in making their life so much easier with freezer meals. I'm Tonya. Thanks for watching. Oh, so good. Bye-bye.
Joy Lab. Learning done right.
Learn more with Joy Lab. Like, subscribe, comment, share. Visit us at www.joylab.biz. Thank you.